Hi Scorpio and welcome to your horoscope for 2025. Thanks for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. Please watch my horoscopes in this order: rising sign first, then sun sign, and finally your moon sign. So in this horoscope, I'm going to go through the retrogrades of the personal planets, which one of your houses that happens in and how it will influence you. Then I'll look at the 4 eclipses that are coming up in 2025. And finally, I'll look at the 4 outer planets that are changing signs in this year. That's really significant. The outer planets represent humanity and society, and they move very slowly. So when we have one changing sign, that is huge. It makes a massive impact on the energy and how it impacts us. But to have 4 of them change sign in 2025 really means that this is a year that's going to be very, very different to the previous years we've just come through. And it's going to give us a glimpse into the future, not just 2025, but 26 and 2027 and even beyond. And the reason I'm saying that is because they are doing exactly what Pluto did in 2024. So Pluto, the planet of transformation and change, that was in Capricorn since 2008. It moved into Aquarius in January 2024, retrograded into Capricorn in September, October, November, moved forwards into Aquarius again, and now it's going to stay there until 2043. And that's what the outer planets Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus are doing, and to a lesser extent Jupiter. They're going to try out their new sign in 2025, retrograde, and then they're going to take up long-term permanent residence in those new signs in 2026 and beyond, pretty much till the end of the decade. So it's going to be a taste of what's to come. And I'll go through all of that to see what it means for you specifically as a Scorpio. So starting with the personal planets, Mercury, the communication planet, that goes retrograde 3 times this year. That's good news. It can retrograde 3 or 4 times. So the fact that we only have it 3 is good for communication and transportation, where it can cause issues where it's in retrograde. The plus side of Mercury retrograde is that we're able to see things very differently, and we're able to consider alternative viewpoints and perspectives. So the first retrograde happens on the 14th of March until the 17th of April. And for you, that retrogrades in your, let's see, let me get it. All right. It starts off in Aries in your 6th house of daily routine and work, and then it retrogrades into Pisces in your 5th house of what you love in terms of your family, in terms of romantic relationships, but also what you love to do. So this is interesting because it will get you to question, how much independence do I have in my everyday life? Is that appropriate? Or should I make changes to have more autonomy in my everyday experience? And then when it retrogrades into your 5th, that's interesting because you're going to have a real sense of your most important relationships, and you're going to be incredibly forgiving, and you're going to be incredibly loving. With that going into your 5th house in Pisces, I would just counsel you that it's a good opportunity to look at your relationships. And I'm not saying that relationships are transactional, right? You give me something, I get something in return. It doesn't have to be like that. But if you notice during that first retrograde from the 14th of March to the 7th of April that you're doing all the giving and getting very little in return, you may become willing to see that for the first time and to say, do I want to continue on this pattern? So it really allows you to tweak your relationships and the relationship you have with your daily routine, and to make improvements in that area. Then it retrogrades again on the 17th of July until the 11th of August, and that's in Leo in your 10th house of career. And we've also got the sun in Leo there because it's their birthday at this time of the year. But Mercury in Leo is very confident, and it's very public, right? So one, I think even if you're someone who doesn't like public speaking very much, or you don't like being in the spotlight, or you don't like being looked at, I think during this retrograde you may find that you actually enjoy those kind of things. But what also is going to come under the microscope is what is expected of me in my work. Is that reasonable, especially in the way I'm being remunerated in terms of what I'm getting out of the job? And also, is this a job or a career that actually allows me to use my skills and talents in the way I want? Or is there something better out there? Should I make a shift? Is this perfect as it is? Or can I make improvements? So both of the retrogrades so far ask you to reevaluate the structures in your life, particularly in your work, your daily routine, and your most personal relationships. So it puts you in a position where you're kind of on your own and you're looking at all the different areas of your life and you're saying, do these still make sense, or do I need to change the goalposts, or do I need to make changes? And then let's see, the final one is in November, from the 9th of November until the 19th of November. And it first retrogrades in Sagittarius in your second house of money, and then it goes into Scorpio in your first house of self in your sign, right? So at the beginning of this last retrograde, again, how much freedom does my work give me? What does it enable me to do in life? Is it worthwhile? And then with it being in Scorpio, how do I really feel about where I've got to in my life at this age, whether it's 20 or 40 or 60 or 80? And do I love it or do I not? And that's a tough question, right? Because we all have things about our lives that we love and we don't. But you're going to have the confidence to say, I'm going to take charge of this now. I'm going to take control of my life. And if there are certain things which no longer serve me or cause me pain, I'm going to chuck them out. So Scorpio, just via the Mercury retrogrades, I really see you as someone who is very willing to be hands-on and to make improvements if you see that they need to be made. And you're not going to procrastinate on that. I think you're completely invested in yourself, which is a good thing, because you're not just invested in making other people happy or maintaining the status quo or taking care of others, you're also taking care of yourself. Then we have Venus retrograde. Venus is the planet of love and beauty and creativity, and it only retrogrades once in 2025, which is good news. I always mention that it's not a good time to start a new business or a new relationship during a Venus retrograde, because your perception of what you love can be very different to what it usually would be. So then you always have a rude awakening once the planet goes direct again. It retrogrades on the 1st of March until the 12th of April, and that happens again in your 6th house of daily routine, and it's in Aries. It's next to your transiting midheaven, Mercury in Aries, also in retrograde, the Sun, and Chiron. So this is really the time where you can have a bit of an uncomfortable breakthrough that says, do you know what, my life has been the way it is for 5, 10, 15 years and I no longer appreciate it. I want to bring some fire, I want to bring some heat, and I want to blow this popsicle stand, and I want to go out on my own and make sure I'm happy. So that sounds like a midlife crisis to me in many ways. So if you're prone to constantly hopping around, changing your life at a whim, then watch out for that retrograde. But if you're the kind of person who feels like you have no agency in your life to make changes, this retrograde is perfect for you, because it says, if I don't like it, I don't have to live it. And I have options. I can just walk out the door. Oh, I'm sorry to get dark here, but sometimes in life we get to a hopeless place. And almost as a way to soothe ourselves, we say, oh, if this doesn't work, I'm going to off myself or something. But even in those moments, there's always the option to just walk out, I think. And let me know if you disagree with this. But to completely be irresponsible and to say, do you know what, before I do something negative or harmful to myself, I'm just going to pack my bags and I'm going to leave. And I'm going to make it somewhere else. And I think sometimes in life, we have to do that, because sometimes things can become so oppressive and so difficult that being completely unwilling to take responsibility or trying to fix something if it's broken and unfixable, to say, enough, I'm going. So during this retrograde, just be aware of that and leave it until the 13th, 14th, 15th of April. Look at those ideas you had during this 6-week period and say, do I still feel like this? Is it time to go? And maybe I should. Mars retrogrades from the 6th of December 2024, so it's already in retrograde. And it stays in retrograde until the 23rd of February 2025. So Mars is ambition and drive and energy. It's the male principle of, it's the god of war. It's the god of, this is what I want. This is what I'm absolutely going to have. When that retrogrades, usually it's an opportunity to chill a little bit. You're not as driven. And in your case, it retrogrades in Cancer in your 9th house of travel, learning, connection to the higher realms. And in Cancer, I actually think that you're at the beginning of 2025 until the 23rd of February, you're not going to be so enthusiastic to go traveling. I think you're going to be more of a homebody, and you're going to ask yourself, what is it that I want to learn in future, and how can I just take care of myself at the beginning of this year and recharge so that I can make all these big decisions later on in 25, and I can do that from a place of real certainty. Okay, so let's look at the eclipses then. Eclipses always come in twos. So the first two that we've got are in March. The first one is on the 13th or 14th of March, depending on your location. And it's a full moon in Virgo, and it's a lunar eclipse. Lunar eclipses and solar eclipses, the moon I always look at as your heart, so it happens inwardly. Solar eclipses, the sun is your head. It's what you're striving towards on a conscious level. So the full moon in Virgo, lunar eclipse on the 13th, 14th, that happens in your 11th house of hopes and dreams. And that's really wonderful because Virgo is about assessment. It's about looking at the information, breaking it down and coming up with meaning. And it's illuminated by the sun and Saturn and the North Node in Pisces in your 5th. So am I on track to realize and to manifest my hopes and dreams, or am I just going through the motions? Have I kind of given up in life somehow and just said, yes, I'm a machine, I need to pay the bills and blah, blah, blah. What about your hopes and dreams? They will come back to life. And the great thing about eclipses is they're all new moons or full moons. And because of the eclipse process, they're interrupted and the energy lingers for about 6 months, right? So from March to August, September, in 2025 Scorpio, you're going to spend a lot of time and thought considering what the best possible things are in your life that could happen, that you'd want to happen. And that's the first step to manifestation work, because you get the mental image and you're like, yes, this feels great, so I'm going to go do it. So really pay attention to that, and then see what you can do with it over the next 6 months. Because they come in twos, the next one is on the 29th of March, and that's a new moon in Aries, and it's a solar eclipse. And again, that happens in your 6th house of daily routine, your physical body. This is a good time to make resolutions. I want to start exercising. I want to feel healthier. I want to have more freedom in my life. I want to move. I want to live in a different place. I want my daily routine to have more freedom or less freedom or whatever it is you want. But it's really the power to say, I am going to make these decisions and I'm going to change my life if I'm not perfectly satisfied with it. And again, that then allows you to make those, to take the practical steps to realize those things until August, September. Moving on to the second lot of eclipses. The first one happens on the 7th of September, the day before my birthday. Hooray. So that is a full moon in Pisces, and it's a lunar eclipse. Again, it's interrupted. It will last until March, April 2026. But this is wonderful because on a conscious level, your understanding of what the hopes and dreams are, but also with the moon in Pisces, you'll really feel the thing that give you the most nurture and security and connection in your life, and how you can make those things more solid. So any Scorpio who's been unsure about their romantic relationships or the way the family unit is set up, you'll understand really what it is you want out of a lot of your relationships, where you can contribute to those relationships, and ultimately how you can create more security in that box of your life. So if you're someone who finds it difficult to commit or to make a big decision, for instance, getting married or moving in together, this is the time to have something click in your heart and to say, I know this is what I want, I'm going to do it. I know the outcome isn't guaranteed, but I know what I want now. And that again then lasts till March, April 2026. And the second eclipse is on the 21st of September. And that's a new moon in Virgo, and that's a solar eclipse. And again, it's in your 11th house of hopes and dreams, but now we've also got Venus in there, and we've got the transiting midheaven there. The South Node is in there too, all in Virgo. So what is it that I want to accomplish in my work moving forward? If I'm a creative person, what is it that I want to express? How can I work creatively and make these things happen? And also, what have I already mastered in life that requires no more work or time or effort? The North Node in Pisces opposes it. And how can I improve these things? And I know none of our lives are perfect bliss all the time, but so that I can build foundations and structures into my life so that overall I'm taking my general happiness level from a 5 to a 6 or a 7 to an 8 or a 1 to a 10. And you're really invested in yourself. You're so able to take charge of things. So Scorpio, I really think this is your year to be empowered and to get a handle on what's happening in your life and to no longer feel like you just have to take it, but you can change it and you're free to make those changes. Okay, so let's look at the outer planets. On the 30th of March until the 22nd of October, we've got Neptune in Aries. And it goes out of Pisces, and it was in Pisces in your 5th house of what you love. So it may have been a little fuzzy and difficult to get clear on your feelings and to make a big decision. With it going into Aries in your 6th, it's like, I now know what the dream is. I spent a lot of time this year considering what I would like to manifest. And now it's time for you to actually do the legwork and to make those happen for yourself. And you have the perfect setup here to manifest marvelous circumstances in your life in 2025, but also beyond. So the fact that Neptune goes out of Pisces into Aries is really significant because it takes 165 years to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac. So it's starting a whole new 165-year journey. And it spends about 13 to 14 years in each sign. So Neptune's now going to be in Aries pretty much for the next 13 or 14 years, and it's in your 6th house. So what kind of life do you want to build for yourself? And it's perfect because Neptune, the dream, Aries, the ram, the chariot, I can actually gallop towards my dream. So there's no stopping you here. If you look at this on a societal level, Neptune in Aries has a lot more focus, so expect a lot of innovation in the realms of the arts and healing, and I would even say love and connection between people. On the 24th of May until the 1st of September 2025, Saturn is in Aries. That's also been in Pisces in your 5th. And that's been, do you know what? If I'm in a relationship, the key thing is that I maintain that relationship and I can't do anything about it. I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I want to tolerate bad behavior. I just want to take it and be there for others. With it going into Aries, it's very, very different, and it joins Neptune in your 6th house. So Saturn is the planet of structure and security. It rules Capricorn, and it's very much about, if I do the work, if I put the foundations in place, then I can build something good and solid in my life, right? With it being in Aries, it's much more, I am the security, my desires, my passions for life. Those are the things I can rely on. And the last thing I want to do is betray myself, and I owe it to myself almost to take action, whether those are guaranteed to succeed or guaranteed to fail or whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. I have the strength, the oomph to say, I'm really going to try now, and I'm going to try and make my hopes and dreams a reality so that my everyday life looks like a dream. And I know that's a hyperbole, but I feel that some people really do live dream lives. And I think you, Scorpio, have the building blocks to create your dream life in 2025. So Saturn takes 28 to 29 and a half years to go all the way around the zodiac. That's why a Saturn return happens around the age of 28, 29, 56, 58, 84, 86. And I think a Saturn return is the most important thing that can happen in the astrology because you get real. And it's like, okay, whatever I've been doing, if it's off track, I need to get on track and do what I really want to be doing. It stays in each sign for about 2.5 to 3 years. So you've now got access to Saturn in Aries in your 6th house. So anything you want to build, make a 3-year plan. I want a house, I want a job where I work 3 hours every 2 months, whatever it may be. You can do it and you can make that happen for yourself. In terms of society, Saturn was in Aries in 1967 to 1969. And that was the summer of love, as far as I know. So total changes in society and the freedoms normal citizens were able to enjoy. But there was also major conflict, as in, wars. So on a personal level, you have the willingness to fight for the kind of life you want to live. But on a human level, it means there may even be more conflict in the world. And we're already seeing a lot of that at the moment. So that doesn't say that that's going to abate or ease off in any way. Okay, 9th of June until the 29th of June, we have Jupiter, the lucky planet in Cancer. And where I said the shift of sign for Jupiter isn't as significant is because it's the quickest of all the outer planets. It only spends a year in each sign, and it only takes 12 years for your Jupiter return, for it to go back to where it was when you were born. But it's gone out of Gemini in your 8th, which for you, Scorpio, would have really boded well when dealing with authorities and institutions and doing paperwork and applications. You may have felt very charmed in that area. But now it goes into Cancer in your 9th, and it's going to feel like it's good luck to learn something new or to travel or to do something for yourself that broadens your horizons. That's where you feel charmed, that you have the opportunities to do things which are unfamiliar and new, as well as building your good, new, solid life. And I would argue that those two go hand in hand. You're willing to explore different ways of living, and the experiences you have as a result of that, the new learning, the travel, connection to the Akashic records, that's what's going to provide the information so you can build this fabulous new future. And then finally, 7th of July to 7th of November 2025, we have Uranus, the planet of the miraculous and the unexpected. That moves out of Taurus in your 7th, and it goes into Gemini in your 8th. And that's significant because in Taurus, it could have caused a lot of problems in your personal relationships where you thought you had a good friend and then they ghosted you. Or you were madly in love and then poof, it suddenly didn't work out. Or a relationship that started great became oppressive and you couldn't leave and you were stuck and trapped. So that's over. And with Uranus going into Gemini in your 8th, it kind of picks up the slack that Jupiter has created by leaving your 8th and going into your 9th. And the ability to connect with institutions and authorities and to apply for jobs and to sell houses and to do taxes and get people to invest in your business idea. I would even argue that it's heightened and it brings more energy into that sector of your life. So Uranus takes 84 years to go around the chart. It's in each sign for 7 years. So I think that would even support you in setting up your own business, your own charity, your own foundation, invention, and also finding a doorway out of circumstances where you feel trapped. And I'm sorry if you think I'm being ridiculous, but certain people are in cults, right? And cults are very difficult to leave because they brainwash you. Uranus in Gemini allows you to find something within yourself to say, screw this, I'm out. And I'm going to heal. So Uranus is chaotic, it's innovation, it's the new. And Gemini is air, technology, communication. So I expect major advances in technology, AI, social media, conveniences that are being invented that make our lives easier. So I expect real progress and change over the next 7 years. So with that, I would say for any Scorpios who work in the technology field or the invention or science field, you're going to have a really good 7 years ahead of you. Yeah. Okay, so that's what I get for you here in 2025. I hope you have a wonderful year. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website, gregoryscott.com. I use astrology, the tarot, numerology, and my intuition in my personal readings. To draw up your birth chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. Don't worry if you don't have the time of birth. There's a process called chart rectification where I can work that out for you. It's on the website as well. And then I can look at your life purpose, vocational aptitudes, love, friendship, money, spiritual development, travel, education, strengths and weaknesses, anything at all. So if you'd like me to have a look at your chart, then please do get in touch for a personal reading. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, please. Hit subscribe for more videos, and please share this video with anyone who you think may like it so that the channel can grow. I also do a daily tarot reading on the channel, so if you'd like to watch that, then please become a member, and I will see you there. Have a great 2025, and I'll speak to you soon.